So if I had to start all over again with no facilities, I would be putting and buying my first facility within 90 days. And I want to show you guys how this can look. Okay. In Storage School, we teach this exact same framework. But if I lost everything, like no deals, no network, no pipeline, this is what I would do. Okay. So most of you have been looking for years, have been looking for a storage facility, have been telling me in the DMs, I've been wanting to buy a storage for the past like 10 years, but I haven't pulled the trigger, and every single like excuse under the sun. And so this is for the person who's been watching, right, on the sidelines, and it still does not own one. Okay. You've been watching videos, you've been saving all the things. And what you are missing out on is the actual execution and a framework that actually will work, right? And so there is a difference between lookers who want to buy storage facilities and just talk about it and storage owners, right? There is two different actions, two different habits, two different people that actually come out on the very top. And this is definitely an identity shift that you need to make, and you need to step up to the plate, right? They say the 1% don't get richer because they're not smarter, but because they take a lot of action and they get in the room and they bet on themselves over and over and over again. So we're going to walk you guys through this and the exact execution. Okay. So inside Self Storage School, we don't just teach theory, we teach action, right? We teach execution. And this is the difference between, I think, people who actually buy their first facility in 90 days and people who look, learn, do all the things, start a program, and then never put one offer in, right? I'm going to get a little sassy here because this is the method that matters. It's called the deal method. And so the deal method is something that we teach where you do this consistently every single week, every single month. It's only a matter of time before you buy your first facility. Okay, so the deal method broken down is D stands for deal flow, E stands for evaluate, and A stands for act, and L stands for let's go lock it up, right? And take it down. And so if you master this, you will own a storage deal. You will become a storage owner. And that is our goal here, is to create more cash flowing storage owners in this world, because hell yes, we need more of these. Okay. So if you've never submitted an offer, you need to watch this. We're going to break this down step by step. I'm going to open up my screen, show a couple demos for you guys, but deal flow. The first thing, the D, right, stands for no deal flow, no business, no ownership. And it's very, very true. The deal flow either makes you or can actually really break you. Okay. So most people wait for deals all day long. We create them in Storage School. We actually have an off-market pipeline. And what happens is we start literally week 1, week 2, we have our buy box and then we go for it. We have not only the deals that we have in the Storage School, you're creating your own list and you're getting out there, you're building relationships with brokers, and you're actually calling storage owners so that within 6 weeks, you're going to be submitting your first offer. And that is effective because you're actually taking steps, actions, and you're taking punches, right? If you're not taking punches, you will never buy a storage facility. And it is very, very true. Your deal flow is the skill that you can use to carve off a little bit of that equity and come into little to none of your own money. But you have to have a skill set, right? For someone who has money to talk to you and get partnered together. And so most people are not in this game and they forget that they need to have a skill set, right, to go for. And so most people aren't just seeing these deals because you're not creating deal flow. Imagine deals literally hitting your inbox. And this is what we do for our storage students, is that they have a deal flow and a relationships that they're building. So storage brokers are sending them deals daily. When they wake up, they're looking through that 5 to 6 good deals every single day. Okay. So that's deal flow. We need to have some good deal flow. And that is what we do as an investor, is we find the best deals and then we target them, we shoot the arrow, and we buy those facilities that actually will give a good return on our money. Like, that's our whole goal as an investor. E. Okay. So think about this. E stands for evaluate. We need to be analyzing deals. This is step 2 in this process, is evaluate. Analyzing good storage deals. And so this was me in the beginning, you guys. I would panic when I saw any type of numbers and I'm like, wow, okay, so we need to be analyzing 1 to 2 good deals every single day for 5 days a week. So that's 10 deals. And that's how you can easily say yes, no, or a number. And so in Storage School, we have a storage deal analyzer. And so we actually have 3 of them. And it goes to back the napkin. That's the first one, to take away all the bad deals and filter out the good ones. And then number 2, we do a full underwriting, which is very, very important, just understanding and to submit to the bank. And then the third thing is we're looking at competition to see if we can actually raise prices and what is our confidence on that. Okay. So clarity comes from removing fear. And removing fear comes from doing the actions, right? Of analyzing deals. And that is real data. It's not fluff. It is the data that is actually going to make the numbers and the cash on cash returns that you are going to benefit from as an operator. Okay. So good deals become obvious because you're underwriting deals every single day. You're not putting your pencil down. So most people right now, just to put this out there in this market, they are putting their pencils down just like in 2020. And you guys know everyone wished they would have bought more properties in 2020. This is exactly where we're at right now. And the people who are underwriting deals, submitting offers that are good for them, they will make money, okay? Coming out on the other side. People regret getting in faster. And that is exactly where we are right now in the storage market. So I want to talk about A, okay? So A stands for ACT. ACT is offers, right? We got to act. We have to take shots in order to buy a storage facility. So one of my favorite quotes with offers and what we talk about in storage school is a storage owner can't say yes to something that they don't physically have in their hands. And that is an offer. A storage owner can't physically say yes to an offer they do not have in their hands. I wanted to say that twice. Go back and listen to that. No offer, no storage business. And so within 6 weeks, we actually get our students to go through these modules and to submit their first 3 offers. And that brings confidence up huge because then once you submit your first 3, they just come in easier and easier. And that momentum builds until you finally buy your first facility, right? So that is a very big, important piece. And so we give you guys this letter of intent. We have a 3-part seller financing letter of intent, actually blaster, that actually makes it 10 times faster. So you can be submitting these offers and getting a yes or a no and starting that negotiation. Okay. So huge, very huge. Speed beats perfection. Speed beats perfection every single time. And it always will, right? So action creates momentum, and it's very true. So some of you have never submitted an offer and you're still looking at YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, reading all the books, and you're doing all the hard work over here, but you're never submitting an offer. And that is the key piece to getting your first property. Okay. So we need to do the hard part, the things that we don't want to do, which is work and submitting offers, because I laugh because sometimes the biggest part as a human is the rejection, right? And getting no's. And so we want to actually get some no's in self-storage and in commercial real estate because that allows us to understand what the owner really wants. And then we can counter, right? If we have a no, then we can counter on what we think they want. And we can create that win-win situation. So we have to act. We have to act faster than what you think, okay? So your first offer does not need to be perfect. It just needs to be sent, and it needs to be sent based on what you actually think that facility is worth based on the value that it currently is, not the pro forma, not the future evaluation. That is always a big mistake that I see first-time storage owners do is they overbuy. They buy with high prices because they're so excited to buy their first facility. Like, no, we need to buy right in order to make money. And it's very, very true. Okay. So fortune is in the follow-up. Fortune is in the follow-up. And that's what we're going to kind of talk about next is lock that thing up. So L stands for lock it up and go. Okay. And lock it up really is deals are won in the follow-up. Following up multiple times, I've had conversations with storage owners, and it's normally on the 5th or 6th call that they're like, yeah, okay. Hey, Bree, I want an offer. And what does that look like to do business with you? Right. So it's not always going to be on that first call, but it does happen. And we need to lock it up. We need to not just, say, oh, they didn't want to talk to me. It's like, no, I'm going to follow up in 2 weeks and say, hey, Mr. Joe, did you hear about the new law that came through for self-storage in the city of Utah? Or, hey, did you look at the storage facility that is actually coming in down the street a mile away? Or, hey, do you know where you are in rates and how you're actually doing with filling up right now in spring season? Like, these are the connection points that we need to have conversations with real owners to build relationships, know, like, and trust, so that they think about you when they want to sell. Okay. So lock that deal up because you can do so many things. It just takes that one storage facility to change your life, where you can get that cash flow and force that appreciation to get into the game of self-storage. And that deal sets you up for large success. Okay. So most people send one message and they quit. You're not that person. You're that person that's going to submit over and over again and they cannot stop but help but think about your name when they're like, okay, I think I actually want to sell. Okay. So I want to talk about this to put this into a nice little bow. Breon, one of our students, went out there, and I had a call with him in the beginning, and we mapped out his 90-day roadmap with his custom market. And he's like, I'm going to buy a facility. And so you guys, within 4 months, Breon bought his first facility and it's out there going to go do it again. Okay. So what he did that was so different is that he showed up every single day. He sent 20 messages every single day, Monday through Friday. He has a W-2 job. He lives in Virginia. He has kiddos and a wife, and he still made it out there and took action every single day. So he got a yes within 10 weeks, you guys. He got an offer submitted and under contract within 10 weeks. What this looked like for him is a 10,000 square foot facility in Texas where he did seller financing. The owner said, okay, yes, I will be the bank. And oh, hey, you only have to put 10% down. He negotiated this deal solid where he only had to put $9,000 down on this $90,000 storage facility that will change his life. And the value add spectrum of what he has done so far is incredible. He made this deal and he made this deal work 10x. Okay, so what he did was he put security cameras in and website in that people could actually find him and do automatic payments. Number 3, he raised prices about just 10% right now. He added 4 billboards, which is $400 a month, you guys, in revenue, huge on the main roads. And then number 6 is he added U-Haul. He partnered with U-Haul to have 2 trucks on his property, and he does a revenue split with U-Haul. So all in all, you guys, this is very, very doable. And this gentleman will have 2 exits. His options to 2 exits is what he figured out from the day one, not from, 5 years later. So he will be able to, in about 36 months, he can either refinance and take 150K out, or he can sell and exit at almost 300K within 36 months, force that appreciation, and then go take that money and 1031 and go do it again, right? And so that is how you build momentum, net worth, and cash flow every single day from and every single just a general population person, right? Not that he was smarter, but he was not afraid to get no's, and he was not afraid to take actions in the things that he didn't know. And the best part about Breon, you guys, just to put it in, is he showed up to office hours, deal review days every single Friday and asked the questions that he needed. And we helped him get through step by step. So you don't have to have it all figured out. You really don't. In order to buy your first facility, you just need to get started. And it's so true. So the people that are on the sidelines, you guys will continue staying on the sidelines and kind of talking about storage or trying to figure out yourself. And that's going to be your opportunity cost. Or you have people that will insert yourselves in storage school and in a community that is stronger than will. And they're going to double down and help you get your first facility with deal flow, better lending, and better risk management, and better people to say yes or no to that deal so that you can safeguard yourself from the risks ahead. Okay. So if you guys are interested in getting into storage school, it is open right now for enrollment. And so what we are doing is we're doing a live cohort. It's 12 students. So if you're interested, make sure that you're not just sitting on the sidelines, because it's going to pass you by and you're going to wish you jumped in. And so this is the biggest part, is if you're interested in wanting to buy your first facility in 2026, send me the word school or go down below, tap on the link. I'll send you an application. You'll fill it out. We'll jump on a call and we will see if it's a good fit. Have a wonderful day, you guys. So good to see you.